ABC Columbia News at 11.
This moment is your moment. It belongs to you.
Donald Trump is now the 45th president of the United States, pledging to change Washington and promising to put America first. Good evening, I'm Ben Hoover.
And I'm Alicia Barnes. We're going to get to all the inaugural festivities in just a moment. But first, we're following some breaking news out of Richland County tonight. A man is dead, and deputies are trying to figure out why. Here is what we do know at this time. Around 9 o'clock tonight, deputies responded to a shots fired call in the 3500 block of Camelot Street. Now, that's near Monticello Road. There they found one man who appeared to have a gunshot wound to the upper body.
We had a crew there at the scene. They're now back. They're trying to get the video to us here shortly. EMS, we do know, pronounced the victim dead upon arrival, and right now they tell us they're working to gather information from potential witnesses as to what happened tonight. We had a crew there on the scene, again, working to get that video here for you on TV. Just as soon as we get it, we'll be sure to bring that to you.
All right, back to our top story. President Donald Trump and his family are wrapping up a festive day of inaugural events.
We know the entire Trump family will spend the night in the White House tonight. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has a look back at today's inauguration ceremony, the pageantry, and the transfer of power.
Preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
With those words, another chapter in American history begins. Donald Trump becoming the 45th president of the United States, taking the oath of office, then in his 16-minute-long inaugural address, sharing his vision for the next 4 years.
America will start winning again, winning like never before. We will bring back our jobs. We will bring back our borders.
Before departing Washington bound for vacation in Palm Springs, now former President Obama leaving a note in the Oval Office for his successor, the two then sharing a few moments together ahead of the official transfer of power.
This is not a period, this is a comma in the continuing story of building America.
President Trump getting right to work, signing his first law. And of course, tweeting before kicking off a day of celebrations. A luncheon in the Capitol Rotunda, followed by the inaugural parade. Police, military, and federal agents working to keep protesters from interfering as thousands of supporters line Pennsylvania Avenue, honoring the new president.
And tonight, the festivities continue. President Trump will attend 3 inaugural balls before spending his first night in the White House with his entire family. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Washington.
All right, thank you so much, Marcy. Well, amid those festivities of the presidential inauguration, some of the streets of Washington, D.C. have also been filled with pepper spray and the sound of grenades. Police and anti-Trump demonstrators faced off just blocks from President Trump's inaugural parade. And scores of people were arrested for trashing property and attacking officers. More protests are expected across the nation's capital this weekend, including Saturday's Women's March on Washington. Now, that march could attract 250,000 participants, potentially making it one of the larger political rallies the city has seen.
Well, the demonstrators fear the new administration will change many of the former president's progressive policies. Almost immediately after Donald Trump became president, the WhiteHouse.gov LGBTQ page disappeared, as did the Department of Labor's online report on lesbians, bisexuals, gays, and transgender people in the workplace. The White House climate change page morphed into an America First energy plan. And before the inaugural balls, President Trump signed an executive order asking federal agencies to, quote, ease the burden of Obamacare. Trump also signed confirmation papers for Defense Secretary James Mattis and Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly. Retired General John Kelly as Homeland Security Secretary.
Well, tonight, former President Barack Obama and his wife are taking some time off in Palm Springs, California.
Well, they headed to California. After the inauguration, Barack Obama stopped at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland. He thanked staff members and talked about his return to private life.
This has been the privilege of my life, and I know I speak for Michelle as well, And we look forward to continuing this journey with all of you. And I can't wait to see what you do next. And I promise you I'll be right there with you. All right? God bless you.
This afternoon, the Obama Foundation released a message from the former first couple. They talked about their new presidential library in Chicago. He was almost giddy at some points today. He was just happy to...
You have to think after 8 years.
Oh, I know.
And all the gray hair. And when you look at Barack Obama, of how he was when he went in office versus now, I mean, there's a big difference. I'm sure it's just like, he's ready for vacation.
That's right. Well, on his last day as vice president, Joe Biden briefly revived a tradition he had followed faithfully as a U.S. senator. He rode the commuter train home from Washington.
Now, he seemed giddy today. Following today's inauguration, Biden and his wife Jill hopped aboard an Amtrak train bound for Wilmington, Delaware. And the Bidens arrived home to a marching band, choirs of singers, alumni from his alma mater, the University of Delaware, and scores of uniformed National Guard troops. Biden's sister, Valerie Biden Owens, told the Associated Press they are just thrilled to be coming back where their roots are. Oh, there was also a handshake today between November's winner and loser.
Hillary Clinton was at today's inaugural luncheon at the Capitol with her husband, and when President Donald Trump arrived, he immediately walked over to the Clintons' table and shook Hillary Clinton's hand. Clinton was also among those seated behind Trump as he was sworn in and as he delivered his inaugural address. She and Bill Clinton were seated with other former presidents and former first ladies.
And South Carolina was very well represented at today's inaugural ceremony.
Governor Haley was on hand as Donald Trump's nominee for ambassador to the UN. The entire South Carolina congressional delegation was there, including former governor and current Congressman Mark Sanford. You see right there, I think you see him, yeah. Congressman Jim Clyburn was there, the state's lone Democratic representative. He was also in attendance. Well, people all across our country watched President Trump's inauguration speech this morning.
And afterward, people right here at home in the capital city were reacting. ABC Columbia's Gabrielle Franklin continues our team coverage.
Donald Trump is officially our nation's 45th president. Reactions from people watching the inauguration in the Midlands are mixed.
Yeah, it was a great message, very encouraging, hopeful for the outlook for the next 4 years. The president's message was uplifting.
I don't know really what to say. I'm sad, to be honest with you. I'm gonna miss Obama.
Many people tell me they are pleased with the peaceful transition of power.
It's good to see all the past presidents that could attend were there, and the crowd seemed very peaceful. And for all the rancor that we were expecting from the protesters, none of that was given at least any airtime. I hope there was no issues up there.
Some watchers say they enjoyed being able to see a few South Carolinians on the national stage.
People in the nation might think, put down South Carolina or think they're just this southern country, dumb area. But I think we have a lot of great people here. I think it's a great state. And, it's awesome to be represented in that way.
Now that the new commander-in-chief is taking office, folks are looking ahead to the future.
I hope Trump does his best. He seems like a smart guy. I just hope he lets us see it too. And I'm going Michelle 2020. That's what I'm hoping for.
In the Vista, Gabrielle Franklin, ABC Columbia News.
You can count on ABC Columbia for continuing coverage as President Trump gets to work this weekend. In fact, he says his first day on the job, he thinks will be Monday, he has said, although I'm sure he'll be busy. There will be updates on air, the ABC Columbia mobile app, and anytime on abccolumbia.com.
All right, let's get a quick check now of your forecast.
Let's head over to Chief Meteorologist John Farley. He joins us live. Hey, John.
Yeah, warm out there tonight, you too. And that warm air is going to stay in place all weekend, but that will not be the main event. The main event is going to be some stormy weather. It's starting to work its way in from the Gulf, a little bit of moisture here, but a storm system is going to come through and give us 3 waves. We'll get some pretty good rain out of it, but also some thunderstorms and maybe some very strong ones at that. So this is how it's going to play out. Soaking rain tomorrow, and I've narrowed down the time on this now. Basically 11 o'clock o'clock to 4 o'clock tomorrow. That looks like the main part of this. And also some thunderstorms mixed in there. Some of them could be very strong, so be aware of that. Here's a look at the specifics on the numbers there. Again, the morning quiet. By noon, though, it's coming down. And in there, some thunderstorms, and that'll continue through the afternoon. If you're going out tomorrow evening, should be fine. But then again, Sunday, things could get a little bumpy again. We'll go over specifics on the timing there when we see in about 10 minutes.
I'm going to take you back to the breaking news in Richland County. We told you about at the top of the newscast. One man is dead tonight, and deputies are trying to figure out how it happened. Here's what we do know, and here's some new video into the newsroom. Around 9 o'clock tonight, deputies responded to shots fired in the 3500 block of Camelot Street. That's right near Monticello Road. It was there that they found one man who appeared to have suffered a gunshot wound to the upper body.
Now, EMS has pronounced him dead upon arrival. Right now, they tell us that they're working to gather information from potential witnesses as to what exactly happened. Now, if you were out there, you know anything that could help out investigators, please, at this point, call the Richland County Sheriff's Department. Earlier, family and friends gathered at a visitation for 16-year-old Brett Williams. Now, Williams is the White Knoll baseball player who passed away suddenly this week. The coroner says that he was diagnosed with influenza B 3 days before his death. And we spoke with a local specialist tonight about why it's so important to consider getting a flu shot this year.
Flu season is just starting to take up all around the country right now. So if you could put it in a single word, you could say it's not too late to vaccinate.
And Williams' funeral is scheduled for tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning at Northside Baptist Church.
Two women roll a cart full of merchandise out of a local Target store. The problem is they didn't bother to pay for it. Columbia police say the theft happened on Garners Ferry Road. Officers say the two also assaulted the store's loss prevention officer with pepper spray before leaving. Again, this is the Target there on out there at Woodhill. If you recognize the women in this surveillance video, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 1-888-CRIME-SC.
A friend of the man sentenced to die for killing 9 worshipers at Emmanuel AME will learn his fate next month. A sentencing hearing for Joey Meek is scheduled for February 28th in federal court in Charleston. Now, back in April, Meek admitted that he knew details about Rufe's plan and told no one. He now faces up to 8 years in prison.
Police say a high school student accused of throwing a paper airplane that struck a teacher in the eye could end up in jail for up to a month. Georgetown County deputies arrested the 17-year-old student at Andrews High School. The teacher, Edward McIver, told deputies that he was upset after getting hit by the airplane because he recently had eye surgery. Again, it was a paper airplane. The student was charged with third-degree assault and battery.
Mexican drug kingpin Jaquan El Chapo Guzman has made an appearance in a New York City courtroom, and a federal public defender entered a not guilty plea for him. An indictment charges Guzman with running a massive drug trafficking operation that laundered billions of dollars and oversaw murders and kidnappings. Well, Guzman answered questions through an interpreter today and said that he could not understand the judge's English. No bail was sought. Prosecutors agreed to not seek the death penalty as a condition of the extradition.
The health of President George H.W. Bush is improving tonight. In fact, word tonight that his wife Barbara is doing better as well. A spokesperson for the Bush family released a statement saying Mr. Bush is now breathing on his own with minimal supplemental oxygen. Former First Lady Barbara Bush also continues to improve. The former president was admitted to Houston Methodist Hospital over the weekend. He'd been battling respiratory issues stemming from pneumonia. Barbara Bush is at the same hospital receiving treatment for bronchitis. Despite being in the hospital, the couple was said to have watched the inaugural events together. I would imagine they did.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, coming up, a new year means a chance for a clean start for those with outstanding warrants. We'll explain.
Plus, colorful arrival. NASA shows us what a Pluto landing would look like.